guys, and welcome back to Buyers Talk Season 2, Episode 4. Today we are with Hauni Rambui, and today he's going to tell you everything right from his booking experience to delivery experience to user experience of his Jimny Zeta manual. So, first of all, Hauni, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself a bit.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Hauni Rumboy. I'm from Jowai, Meghalaya, which is 60 kilometers away from the main city, Shillong. And I've been driving my Suzuki Jimny for the past 1 year. In fact, this month is going to be exactly 1 year. And I've been
Okay.
owning it, the manual version, and it's the Zeta model. Yeah.
Okay. And before this, which car did you previously own?
I've owned quite a few cars, but I had a Gypsy before that. I sold my Gypsy to buy the Jimny.
Okay. And now I would like you to tell something like the details and the backstory behind buying this car. And yeah,
Yeah. So actually, I had no plans, first of all, to buy this car. My friends were kind of looking for a car to buy, so I just suggested them the Jimny because it has been like a what do you say, a waiting kind of a car. It's like it's a list on. It's always on the list for people buying this car. And then one of
right.
my friend, he was like, he wanted to buy the top version actually. And when this
Okay.
particular model came, the Zeta version, which is lower model, he said that he doesn't like it. It's like he wants the top model one. So at that time, I was
Okay.
thinking because sorry to mention again, I'm actually the owner of the sub dealer owner of Marutisuzukijimny showroom here in Jowai itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when this base model, Zeta model came, I had no buyer that time. That's when it struck my mind. Like it already came to the showroom, but then should I buy it or not? That was the main question for me. And to buy that,
Okay.
obviously I have to let go of my rally gypsy. It is a rally prep gypsy which have been built by myself, and I had to
Okay.
think time. 10 times I had to think about should I buy it, should I not buy it, and I made a good decision to buy the Jimny. Yeah.
Okay. And now, when you went to the showroom to see the car,
Yeah.
how was the experience there? Did the showroom people greet you well and all of that?
Yeah, so actually the main showroom is in Shillong, the Nexa showroom. When I
Okay.
saw the car, which was the what's that green color? I forgot that name of the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I saw that first, I was pretty surprised with its looks and the features, the how it
Right.
stands in front of other vehicles. Even though it looks small, but then coming to our background, where I'm from, it's a hill station where our roads are narrow and small, twisty uphills,
Right.
downhills. I think this is like the best car. I mean, one of the best cars for us to own because being practical, that is always there in my mind. So being practical, being a
Okay.
small car, and then picking out whenever I want. So seeing it in a showroom, like it has always been there at the back of my mind to purchase a vehicle.
Okay. And when you went to see the car,
Yeah.
what was that one thing which caught your attention mainly?
Uh, the basic, what do you say? The basic 4x4 features that is always there because
Okay.
jumping from a gypsy to a Jimny is like a big leap. So from the
Right.
hard rash handling, I mean the suspension of the gypsy coming to a more comfortable car, especially for family usage, it's a big
Right.
leap for us to own a Jimny. So that is also always there. Yeah.
Right. And when you went to book this car, did you get any kind of discount or offers at the time of booking?
No, no. At that time, we did not have any offers. What came, it's just that what
Okay.
you choose of the from the accessories, these extra warranties, the accessories, lot of accessories. Just that the only thing.
Okay.
Or else at that time there was no offer at all. Yeah.
Okay. And did you opt for the car insurance from the dealer directly, or did you take it from somewhere else outside the showroom?
Yeah, from the dealer itself, I got it insurance. Because when I asked them for the
Okay.
quotations, that's when I asked everything all about the insurance. And all that.
Okay. And did you compare the insurance cost which the showroom was giving you
Mhm.
and outside? Did you compare them, both of them?
Outside, no, because when nowadays you can always check online, right? So it just depends from
Right.
companies to companies. So I choose the Alliance Assurance, and then there was National
Okay.
Insurance. There were many other ICICI, Lombard, and all this stuff. But then
Right.
I had to choose the one which is more reasonable, more suitable for my usage, being a one plus two
Right.
insurance. Yeah.
Right. And now, when you were talking about the car, when you were booking the car,
Yeah.
did you inquire about the exact manufacturing month and year of the car?
No, I did not. That was not there. I did not
Okay.
add it.
No, why I'm asking you this is because I was talking to somebody the other day,
Yes, yes.
and they were telling me that maybe, say, for example, you're buying the car in December, and you'll ask someone will ask the dealer, the customer, that maybe what is the manufacturing year or month of the car.
Mm-hmm.
So the showroom person will say maybe this is the same year's
Yes,
car, but sometimes it can happen that maybe they can give you a car of the earlier
yes,
months
yes,
of the year, so
yes.
maybe you'll get a 7-8 months older car.
One
So
one thing I'll tell you
yeah,
regarding that, because this is a newly launched car, right? So I
right,
think it was launched just 2 3 months ago when I bought it.
okay,
So there's
okay,
no issue or error regarding that having an old manufacturing car, because it's just newly launched in
right,
India. So max to max
right,
maybe 4 to 5 months. That's the max you could buy a car, because I mean
right,
when it's manufactured. So when I bought the car, it was already launched like 3 4 months like that. Yeah. So it's already a fresh
okay.
vehicle. Yeah.
And did you go to see this car at the stockyard before it came to the showroom for delivery?
See, this case was when, like I said earlier, right? I bought this car because it was my friend's intention to buy a Jimny.
Right,
Yeah. So at that time, one of my friends who was in Shillong, because the car is in
okay,
stockyard in Shillong. Okay. So
right,
he was the one who talked to one of the managers there in Shillong to look for the car there in Shillong in the stockyard. And then that same
okay.
person, yeah, he was the one who brought it down for the delivery for me down to my hometown. So when
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, because that time, like I said, my friend was actually wanted to see how the base model looked, but he did not like it. So my friend itself, he
right,
brought that car to Joy to my dealership to for me to
okay.
take a look for the car. Yeah.
Okay. And did he do any kind of self PDI or anything of that sort?
Yes, definitely. When he check out the car, he obviously check for any kind of leakage, because when cars are kept,
Yeah,
because in my place it rains a lot, right?
right,
So they might
right,
be just kept outside like that. I told him just look for any scratches or anything like, because I am referring to a friend for this car. If there's
right,
anything, any
right,
bad thing happens regarding with like leakage or anything scratches, not that is be a bad name for me. So yeah, I told my
right.
friend to check all that. Yeah.
Okay. And okay. For a moment, did you get tempted, like once you saw the Jimny and you
Mhm.
booked it maybe, and following the Thar came in,
Yeah.
were you tempted for a moment that, oh, maybe I can, opt for the Thar at that time? Or did you say Jimny is the best I can get?
Like I said earlier, being practical is always one thing. So
Right,
when at that time the five door Thar was not there, it was just a three door
right,
Thar. It was not at all practical
right,
for a family. It's very,
right,
even though it's powerful, it's big, but then it cannot take a lot of stuff, a lot of luggage behind, and then
right,
being a three-door car is just for leisure and just for your own passion to own a three-door vehicle. And for the
right,
Jimny is on the other hand, there's a five-door. I can take my family out for
right,
outings, weekend drives, or adventures, or anything like that, and even having a luggage space behind. So for
right,
me, Jimny has always been there at the back of my mind to get that car rather than the car at that time.
right. And now I would like to ask you
Yeah,
that, see, overall, the Jimny is a pretty small form factor
yeah,
car.
yeah,
So, at any time, have you thought that maybe the passengers were sitting at the back, or you as a driver is sitting in the front?
yeah.
Do you think it is a little cramped? Is the car cramped, or is it spacious enough?
It's cramped for tall people. It's for people who are
Okay,
tall, like 6 feet, 6 feet two, and all. Yeah, sitting at the back might be cramped
right,
for them. The height, the width of the car, especially because if you sit inside, you'll feel like the Brezza, the Creta, more wider than the
right,
Jimny, right? But then if you
right.
sit just two people behind, and if you're not tall and just under 5'10", 5'8", like that, you
Yeah.
can easily comfortably sit inside the car without any hassle.
Okay. So what is your height, if I may ask?
I'm 5'6".
Okay. And have you ever sat at the back usually sometimes?
Yes, 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 I do.
Okay. So for you, for your height,
Yeah.
do you think the under thigh support, the knee room is enough?
Yeah, it's good enough. Yes, yes. felt that because
Okay.
I've got aftermarket seat covers also with a little bit of sponge beneath
Okay.
it, so it's
Right.
comfortable for me.
Okay. And have you ever had that thought that maybe Maruti could have added bucket seats instead of bench seats so that the two people at the back can sit more comfortably? Have you ever thought? Has that
No,
ever
no, no.
thought come?
Regarding that, no.
Okay. And now, before we talk about engine performance, driving, comfort, etc.,
Yes.
let's move on to a segment in the podcast named as Practical Kitne Ho Tum,
Okay.
where I'll be asking you basic things about your car
Okay.
and you have to tell me if this is practical enough or do you think it could have been better.
Okay. Okay.
First of all, as this is the base variant, the low variant, so you get halogen headlights.
Yes.
So do you think the throw is enough or do you think it could have been better?
It could have been better. The one that comes with the company, these are OM halogen bulbs, right?
Right,
Yeah. And I've been using cars with LED bulbs. Those throws are better. They are 10 times. You can see the
right,
visuality. You can see better at night, at
right.
fog. So obviously, even I, for my Jimny, I've replaced them with LED bulbs. Uh,
Okay.
Back in the early days, maybe in the late 90s or early 2000, at that time when LED bulbs were non-existent, so
Not
everyone is
there.
fine with
Yeah,
them. Yeah, now that LED bulbs
yeah.
have come, everyone is using them. Everyone
Ops
like them.
for it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It has a lot of
Yeah.
advantage. Yeah.
And do you at any point miss having headlight washers in the car?
No, not at all. For me, extra features like those are not a problem for me.
Right.
Yeah,
Not. Yeah. Okay. So now I would like to ask you is that because this car doesn't get a rear view camera,
yeah.
so do you ever feel that maybe it could have had a rear view camera in it?
In fact, it has. Even the Zeta variant has a rear view camera.
Okay.
Yeah, but the
Okay.
quality it could have been better
It would have been
because I've owned a Honda before, Honda Jazz before. The quality of the rear view
right.
camera of those cars are better than the ones that we have in the Jimny. But just to
Okay.
see obstacles behind you when you back up the vehicle, that is enough for me.
Okay. Okay. And now when we talk about boot space in the car, first of all, do you think that the loading lip of the car
Yeah.
is it high or do you think it is comfortable to put luggage easily inside and take it out? And do you think without the seats being folded,
Mhm.
how much practically can you store? And also when you fold the rear bench
Yeah.
seats, how much can you store more? So a
Um,
practical idea.
okay, see, for me, my Jimny has been lifted, right? It's around 40
Right.
mm of lift. For a stock vehicle, I find that it's easy to load and unload baggages without any problem.
Okay.
And even though it's a high car, these are tall cars, right? So a
Right.
person should understand based on that way. And then when you
Right.
fold the seats, I just feel that I wish the seats could have been more flatter so that we could lay
Right.
down the seats more flat and then so that more space can be occupied inside the car. So that's the only
Right.
expectations I have. But then when it came, it was like there was quite a slanting when you fold the rear seats, and then
Okay.
you cannot fit more luggages or more items that you need to. So that was could have been an
Okay.
increase. Yeah.
And what is your opinion about the fit and finish of the overall car from the exterior and interior? Do you
Uh,
think it is rugged enough or could it have been better?
uh, we see being a car which for like most people who buys Jimneys, 4x4 adventures, off-road adventures.
Right.
Those are things that it's all based on personal preference, like especially the looks.
Right.
What do you want on a car? Those are all personal preference. One person may like it, the other
Right.
person may not like it, right? So it's all
Right.
personal preference for me when it comes to all those kind of appearance.
Okay. And now, what is your opinion on the touchscreen system of the car?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. When I knew that the car comes only in two models, the Zeta and the Alpha, and then
Right.
I had thought that maybe these cars comes in steel rims, basic interiors, nothing. For me, it's not an issue
Right.
of having all the because I don't need all the fancy features. And then
Right.
when I saw it came with a touch screen and all, I was surprised. Like at this plus point
Okay.
that the car has, and at the price of this car.
Yeah.
It came with a touch screen, and even though it's just a small 9-inch, I guess, screen,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's fine for me. It works properly, yeah, without any problem.
Okay. And now the steel wheels which you get in this car and the tires, the stock tires which you get,
Yes, yes.
Do you think they were capable enough to go on all possible terrain?
I no, I don't think so. These are meant for road use, and
Right,
if you look at it, obviously it looks so small. Even if you have that feeling,
right,
I would want a bigger tire. So when I bought the
right,
car, the tires that I used to have on my Gypsy directly I fitted in my
right.
Jimny without any problem because having it has the same PCD.
Okay,
So directly I fit
okay,
my 235 size tires to the Jimny.
okay, okay. And now, overall,
Yeah.
what is your opinion about the dashboard layout of the car? Do you think that fit and finish or materials could have been better interior wise?
Yeah, like I said earlier, again, these are all personal preference. For me, I find
Right,
the interior fine, no issues at all. I mean, like all the quality of the plastics and all, those are all okay
right,
to me. Those are all good. Like, I'm not saying it's best or it's the perfect one, but it's okay for me. Like I can manage them. Like if I go off-roading, if it gets dirty, it's easy
right,
to clean. That is always the one thing. Unlike,
right.
you look at the recently launched Mahindra Thar Rock, it gets white
Yeah,
interior,
yeah,
right? Imagine going off-roading in
right.
slush and muddy terrains and you come back in, you have mud on
Yeah,
the seats and all these interiors of the car. How it'll take you a
yeah.
long
You
time to
get
clean.
light colored upholstery in
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah,
can
yeah,
get
yeah,
dirty
yeah.
really easily.
So
Yes.
when you want to go off-roading, you don't want those kind of
Yeah,
interiors.
right. And now let's get to the driving feel of the car. So I'd
Okay.
ask you a set of questions. You have to answer them.
Yeah.
First is the how is the initial pickup of the car?
Yeah. So this car comes with a 1.5 liter, right? And coming
Yes,
from a gypsy background, it's much more powerful than the gypsy, and it's yeah,
right,
that engine is much more powerful and more punchy also. But then I
right.
feel sometimes that it lacks power here and there, especially for us in the uphills where it struggles a bit, where I need to
Okay,
have a lot of gear changes, and I wish
right,
sometimes it has a bigger engine or at least a 2 liter engine. But then the price again
right.
will be compromised over there. So
Yeah,
for just general usage of the car in the plain areas and the mainline India and all, so it's fine. For those, and
right,
you don't need to rip in top speed for this car. This is just meant for
right.
casually driving the car. It's good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is your opinion about the transmission shifting in this car? Like if you say go from first gear to second gear,
Yeah.
for example. So do you think the gear, the transmission between both these gears is a little short or is it fine enough?
It's fine. When I first bought the car, the pressure plate feels hard. Like even the shifting
Okay,
feels hard. Now that I've been using the car
okay,
for 1 year, everything has become normal. I don't feel that harshness anymore, and it's smooth. The gearing is smooth now. Yeah.
okay. And how often do you go off-roading in this car?
Whenever I have time, because for me, having a proper schedule timing is always one thing that I have to manage.
Okay,
Yeah, so at least once a month or once in 2 months, whenever I'm free, whenever I have
okay.
time, I will go for offroading.
But in your locality where you stay,
Yeah.
are the roads bumpy or are they fine? So, what is the scenario over there?
Okay, so this is also one of the best things why I buy the Jimny for. The distance from
Okay.
my hometown Jawai to Shillong, the main city of Meghalaya, it's
Yeah.
around 60 kilometers. So from my
Okay.
hometown to halfway, like 30 kilometers, the roads are pretty bad. Okay, and
Okay.
every year, especially during monsoon, whenever they repair this road, again it gets bad, it gets worse, and it gets damaged
Okay.
many times during the
Okay.
year. And I feel bad for small vehicles because the suspension arms, the drive
Right.
shafts, and all for these small cars will get damaged soon. And
Right.
having these types of vehicles, especially ladder chassis frame vehicles, we don't have any
Right.
issues when it comes driving through these bad roads, potholes, and all these stuff.
Right.
And after that, that distance, like I said, for first 30 kilometers where we drive, we have this kind of advantage having these cars on these road conditions.
Right.
But in the city, it's fine. The city roads are normal, are fine, and they're just bumpy a little bit here and there. Yeah.
Okay. And say whenever you get some space or you have some time where you can go on a little higher speed, not
Yeah.
too much
Yeah.
because the car cannot handle that
Yeah.
much, right?
Yes.
But
Yes. Yes.
say if you are on 100 for example,
Yeah.
is the car stable enough or does it have a lot of body roll?
Body roll is always there, even in stock, because
Yeah.
of the suspension. I feel that it's too soft. When I first bought the car in
Okay.
stock condition, I felt that the rear suspension could have been a leaf spring, like how it comes in the Bolero and
Okay.
all that. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so both the front and the rear are coil springs, right? You feel the wobble, the body
Right.
roll, and all these stuff, especially at high speed. Now that my car is a fully modified vehicle with Tanabe suspension setup,
Okay.
I can always adjust how much hardness or softness I want with the damn thing. But then I
Okay.
barely do above 100 with this vehicle. But then when I do it, also the car is stable, yeah. And because the
Okay.
tires are big, the thing, and like I can travel at these speeds without any issues. But then I don't feel like these cars are
Okay.
meant for high speeds. Yeah.
High speed. Yes. And when you are on a normal speed, when you're normally driving, how is the steering feedback and response?
Yeah, the steering, I feel that it's not to say it's too light or it's too heavy. It's on the midway
Okay.
between that. I wish the turning radius could have been bigger because when I first entered into the it's a 4x4 challenge event. At that
Okay.
time, the only thing I struggled was because of the turning radius. I had lose a lot of time over there, and
Right.
the length of the car is quite long, even though it's sub 4 meter. But
Yeah.
during in such case where you compete in such events or
Right.
competitions, yeah, you can feel that the car is long, and then like the turning radius is too less. You wish that it could turn
Yeah.
more, just like in boleros and all that, where you can easily take a turn. Yeah.
Okay. And do you get a lot of engine and road noise in this car? And if so, how is the sound insulation inside?
Yeah, the sound insulation is fine. It's not that great, but it's like it's
Okay.
muffled enough. Like I said earlier, when you compare from where I used to drive gypsies, there's lots and lots of noise from the vehicle, and coming to a
Right.
Jimny, the Jimny is more muffled inside. You can sit inside where it doesn't disturb when you talk, or it doesn't. This is
Right.
2024, so you don't have those type of vehicles anymore. But yeah, I'm happy
Right.
with the sound and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how is the braking performance of the car? And have you ever been in a situation where the brakes performance was highlighted?
Yeah, see, because I fitted these bigger 235/75 tires,
Yeah.
yeah, you have that kind of issue. It's not an issue problem, but then you feel that the distance to stop is quite less compared to when you was stuck
Right.
because the tires are bigger
Right.
and heavier, right? And then now that I've been using it with this condition, I'm used to it, so it's fine for me. I can adjust my braking according to the way I.
So I want to ask you this: that whenever you go on off-road things,
Yeah,
do you think when you're on steep inclines or steep declines,
yeah.
do you anywhere feel that the car is stable or it could have been better?
The
What do
cars.
you think there?
Okay, just recently on the 15th of August, we went for a short trail offroading. It was raining
Okay.
heavily. That is when
Yeah.
I started to use the downhill assist feature which this car has.
Yeah.
So at that
Yeah.
time, I kept it in four low, no, yeah, four high. I kept it first
Hmm.
in four high, and then I switched on
Okay.
the downhill assist, and then I let it roll.
Hmm.
So the braking was
Okay.
not aggressive, but it was not letting me go beyond 10 kilometers per hour, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Okay.
and then
So that mechanism was working
gear
fine.
was working perfectly, and then I changed it to follow, and even it was more
Okay.
aggressive. So I feel like I need to
Okay.
accelerate more. When you downhill,
Yeah.
even in first or second gear, that it doesn't allow you to go beyond 10 kilometers of speed, and then it
Right.
just holds your car downhill, and then that was also one of the best features this car has.
Okay. And now let's come to the main part, which is that you have done a lot of modifications in this car.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate a bit on that? What all you have done, exterior, interiors, and overall technically?
Okay, so then when I first started buying this car, the first thing I did
Okay.
was the suspension change. Sorry, the tires first.
Okay.
The tires, I fitted the
Yeah.
bigger tires, like I said earlier, along with the alloys. But the alloys that I had
Okay.
was from my Gypsy. They were old, okay? And then they
Okay.
were wobbly. Whenever I go downhill and brake, the car would shake a lot. So, and then
Okay.
I changed the alloys to brand new ones.
Okay.
I got them balanced. Then the problem solved. Then the next thing was
Okay.
the suspension. I always, when I bought the car, I didn't have any plans to buy the car first, right? So then at that time, I
Okay.
had to purchase suspension setups. At that time, my short list were the Tough Dog, the Dr. Nano suspensions, the Tanabe, and many other
Right.
options were there. And then
Yeah.
I keep on researching. One of my very close friend, Mr. Achintia from AM Racing Delhi, he suggested me
Okay.
Tanabe. Because I've been driving
Yeah.
my car 70% mostly on the road, and like I said, only once a month or barely. I mean, really occasionally I go for off-roading, right? So most of the time I've been
Okay.
using it in the road only. And then
Okay.
that time I chose, comparing with all other suspension brands, I chose the D.N.A because it's more focused on the road, and also you can always adjust it to your preference when you're going off-roading. The height is
Okay.
adjustable because the color was adjustable, the damping is adjustable. Then I fitted the front
Okay.
strut bracing, the under brace, the panhand rods, and then the exhaust system
Okay.
also I've changed, the air filter, the snorkel. Those are some of the
Okay.
modifications on the vehicles. And coming to the exteriors, what I've changed was the grille, that it's
Okay.
an aftermarket grill, and then the Bimbra products like the front bumper, the roof
Okay.
carrier, spoilers, the rock sliders. Those
Okay.
are some of the modifications that I've done on my car.
Okay.
And yes,
And
sorry, one more thing.
now, yeah.
Just yeah,
Yeah.
one more thing. And the last thing that I did when I got this car was the main ECM Stage One Plus tune, which was done by
Okay.
uh, one person in Guwahati by the name of the workshop name is RC Team. So those guys tuned
Okay.
my ECM, and at that time when I first bought the car, like I said, it was I feel like the car's not performing very well. So
Yeah.
I know that I had to get it tuned. The moment they released that
Yeah.
software, the moment they informed me that
Yeah.
they have started tuning Jimnys, that's when I called Mr. Rahat, and then he told me, yeah, you
Okay.
can come over and get it tuned. So after tuning the car, I feel that the car is breathing properly. The acceleration has improved a lot. That is
Okay.
one of the best things because for me, I need more acceleration, right? So that is
Yeah.
always one. The power also has improved, but then I feel the acceleration is the main thing that has been improved on the car.
Okay. And now let's move on to the next segment where you can tell me a bit if you have gone on any long trips as such and how was your experience there.
Uh,
And this is a question which many people have, and I've asked in the previous podcast with one of my other guests who also owns a Jimny.
okay.
So, I'd ask them this question that because this car has a very small fuel tank of
Mhm.
only
Yeah, yeah,
40 liters,
yeah.
do you ever think that maybe because of this smaller fuel tank you have faced any issues overall?
See, I have not gone for a very long distance trip or anything, but the max that I always do is when I go to Guwahati, Assam. That is around, from my
Okay,
hometown, is around 150 kilometers, so up down 300 plus,
okay,
roaming around the city, which is around 400 kilometers. For me, that one full tank
okay,
of the Jimny is enough for me to travel this much of distance. But then I
okay,
wish in the future I could go for longer distance, long trips because I don't have time, like I said. So I need
yeah,
to have a better free time for me so that I can go for these long trips. Yeah, I'm planning right now for a long trip. I wish I could do it soon.
okay, okay. And now I would like you to elaborate a bit on any one of the off-roading experience that you have had with this car. And also you could just guide our viewers also, who are interested in off-roading.
Yeah,
What are some of the basic things which you should take care while you're doing off-roading?
yeah.
Stuff like that, some of them.
Okay, so I've done a lot of off-roading with this vehicle, and then
Okay,
recently was quite challenging because it was raining. So whenever it rains, quite
okay.
sluggish and muddy. One thing is always that don't go alone. Always have a
Yeah,
car which has, like for us, the last time we went, there were around 15, 16 vehicles. So
okay,
there are cars which are pro modified for off-roading, right? These are,
right,
modification done for challenging, I mean, for competition vehicles. These vehicles have
right,
winches and all these stuff. So whenever you go
yeah,
off-roading with a Jimny, for me, like unless it's a really serious terrain, always try to go in four high only. The moment the
okay,
vehicle gets, you're not getting stuck, but then you feel like it doesn't climb or like it's just moving around. Um, that's the only time when you feel like you need to go to four low, and then try to use it when it is required. But then just don't simply use four low
okay,
because the torque is very high there and it could damage your transmission. So try to go on
okay,
four high as much possible as you can. So unless the terrain is really
okay,
difficult, and if you are into really serious off-roading person, you can always fit all these extra facilities like the winches front, and then
hmm,
whenever you, and definitely the snorkel. Snorkel is always a important thing to have when you're because
okay,
when you have to cross a river or any kind of a place that you may get stuck because of the river or the water.
yeah.
So always have a snorkel with the vehicle, and whenever you go off-roading, so these are some of the things that you need to keep in mind.
Okay. And now I would like to ask you that have you faced any kind of technical, electrical, or physical issues with the car? And if so, how was your service center experience?
No, as of now, I do not have any issues at all with any kind of electrical works or anything because uh, even though
Okay,
I've fitted an aftermarket horns or anything, I always keep an extra
right.
relay. Even though, yeah, from the company, relays are
Okay,
there, but then you can always have an extra when you fit. I have accessories like extra fog lamps, extra LED bars. I always
okay,
fit an extra
yeah,
relay for these stuff because you don't want to get anything
okay,
damaged to the vehicle. So yeah, you can. I don't have
okay,
any problems with the car so far as of now.
okay. And now my question is that because you have done so many modifications in your car, do you do the servicing of your car from the what do you say, from Maruti Suzuki itself, or do it from outside?
Like I said, I'm the. I have. I've been. I mean, I'm the owner, co-owner of this dealership here in Joy. So
Okay,
I'm doing it by myself. I'm doing it in this workshop. I, I don't take my car
okay,
outside for any kind of service. I do everything on my own workshop.
okay, okay. And now this is the second last segment where you have to highlight three good things and three bad things about this car.
Okay.
What would they be?
Okay, let me talk about the pros for the car first. First of all, is its
Yeah.
off-road capability. It's like one of the best off-roading vehicles in there.
Okay.
And then the second one I would say is the what do you call? Sorry, let me just repeat the question again.
Yeah. So I would like you to highlight three good things, which is three pros and three cons of this car.
Okay, so the pros for the vehicle. First of all, I would say the number one thing is the 4x4 capability of the vehicle. This car, like I said,
Okay.
is majorly meant for off-roading, so that is one of the best cars for off-roading. Number two
Okay.
is the characteristics of the engine and the powertrain of the vehicle. Being a solid axle vehicle,
Right.
that is also one of the best things that this car has. And
Okay.
for some, this third advantage for me is it. This is a personal preference. Okay, this is regarding the
Okay.
size. For me, size matters, but then the size being small, that is important to me because for me, going off roading is very important when a car is small. Because if you go on these
Okay.
narrow branches and a lot of trees, when a car is small, you can easily go through, and then it will not scratch your car that much, and then
Right.
you can go through these trails without any issues, without having, and also
Okay.
while taking U-turns, you can go through these small road, small trails without any problems at all. So that is the third
Okay.
important advantage for me regarding this vehicle.
Okay.
And disadvantages is right now, as you know, the Jimny is getting discounts everywhere, all the way to
Okay.
3.3 lakhs, I guess. For me, it's fine.
Okay.
I don't have any issues because at that time we did not get any discounts, even though we feel bad, but then we are happy with the as long as we are happy with the vehicle, we are fine with it. For me, I don't have any
Okay.
regrets regarding that pricing because it's very high price. And
Oh
then
yeah.
the second one is the space. That also is
Hmm.
also the interior space where some people might find it cramped. Sitting three people behind, it's quite uncomfortable for some. And
Yeah.
the last thing is the engine. I wish it was more powerful, more torquey, maybe a turbo. I wish it could have come with that 1 liter turbo that we get on the Baleno RS, right? On the
Yeah.
Front's RS
Yeah.
also, yeah. I wish it would have come with a turbo 1.0. That would have been better for this vehicle. Or maybe they might have tested. I don't know regarding that, but then
Okay.
yeah, I wish this car would have could have come with a better engine, bigger, more powerful engine.
Okay. And now I would like to ask you is that do you have any future plans of buying any new car like recently now? Do you have any plans?
For me, this car serves all my purpose. I can take my
Right.
family outing. I can go for my weekend adventures. I can go compete in this vehicle. I've done the Rock and Roll Challenge, and then I've
Yeah.
done some other local 4x4
Mm.
challenge also. So it's
Okay.
very practical car being a five-door vehicle. It serves all my purpose. I have two sets of tires. I have one set which I use only for
Yeah.
the road. I have the second set of tires which for off-roading only. So this car is thing. I
Okay.
think it serves my purpose. Being a very practical car for me, I don't have any plan at all for any kind of a car in the future. For
Okay.
now, maybe
But
in yeah.
But if someone would ask you, what is that dream car which you might want to get?
Yeah,
Can be anything.
yeah.
What do you think that car would be?
See, I've been owning German cars also. I've had the Skoda Laura
Okay,
VRS, which I recently sold. I regretted selling that, but
okay,
then what to do? It's a 12 years old car. So it's a
right,
Bangalore registered vehicle. I have to sell it back to Bangalore recently. Just 2 3 weeks back, I
okay,
sold it off. And
okay,
coming back, definitely in the future, I might wanna definitely a German vehicle, be it Mercedes or another Skoda in the family. Yeah, these are my
okay,
top of my list. A German, definitely a German vehicle. Yeah.
okay. And now let's move on to the last segment of this podcast. It's called the DNA Satisfactory Meter,
Okay.
where I'll be asking you a few things about your car
Yeah.
and you have to rate it out of 10,
Yeah.
10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest.
Okay.
First is the design. How much would you rate it?
The design, I would say an eight, because when it came from the factory, definitely it looks too small. So
Yeah,
I wish it could have come with a bigger tire so that people don't have the hassle of exchanging the stock tires
right.
with an aftermarket tire. So I'll give it an 8.
Hmm. Okay. And in terms of practicality overall?
10. I'll give it 10. Like I said earlier, it's very practical and it serves my purpose. I'll give it a 10.
Okay. And in terms of features overall, whatever you get from the exterior interior?
Yeah, there are some features that some other companies have and Jimny does, and maybe most of it doesn't. It doesn't have. For me, it's fine. I don't. It doesn't bother me having extra features. But then, yes,
Okay.
those are like I wish it could have more features for the car.
Okay. And in terms of driving feedback, how much would you rate it?
I'll give it a 9.
Okay. And in terms of comfort inside the car, the seats and everything?
It's a 10 for me. It's very comfortable vehicle. Even my
Okay.
mother, who's 60 plus years old, finds the vehicle very comfortable.
Okay. And in terms of off-roading capabilities?
It's a 10. A 10 for me.
Okay. And this is a plug-in which I'm doing in the interview.
Okay.
How much would you rate this podcast out of 10?
Yes, a 10. It's a very good podcast. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
thank you
Marita.
so much, Hauni. It was great talking to you. And guys, that's it in this podcast. If you like this video, do give this video a like. Also, subscribe to our channel. And after subscribing, please press the bell icon so that you never miss another update from Auto DNA. This is Rishabh Rajesh and Hauni Rambui signing off. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Wonderful.